But first, I want to speak briefly to the ongoing protest and the Confederate monuments. I have said that I believe Confederate monuments are divisive and glorify a racist and painful time in our history. That's why we are working to remove the Lee Monument in Richmond, which our state owns. The Richmond City Council has also agreed that it will remove the other Confederate monuments that are on Monument Avenue. We all came together to create a process to do that safely. We need to let that happen because these statues are very large and they are very heavy. In Portsmouth, a demonstrator was seriously injured when he was hit by a statue that was being pulled down. I know these statues are causing a lot of pain, but pulling them down is not worth risking someone's life. So let the local governments take the responsibility for taking these statues down safely. Let's do this the right way and keep all Virginians safe. The statues are, of course, far from the only racist and divisive relics of our past. So now let's turn to our ongoing work of reform. As you know, I created the commission to examine racial inequity in Virginia law last year. We know that racism and discrimination were written into our laws, particularly during the Jim Crow era, with the intent of enforcing segregation and subjugation of black and brown Virginians. And while many of those old laws have been overturned, in some cases the language remains in the Acts of Assembly. In just a partial review of those acts, the Commission found nearly 100 instances of discriminatory language. We proposed legislation to remove those ugly words from our law books, and it passed just this past year unanimously. Today, I'm announcing that I'm extending the work of the Commission and broadening its scope. The Commission will now look at current state laws and regulations that create or perpetuate inequities, with a focus on public safety, criminal justice, health, housing, and voting. It will propose changes to increase protections for minority and marginalized Virginians and provide policy recommendations for state agencies and institutions. I am very proud of the work the Commission has already done and look forward to seeing their proposals. We expect a report with recommendations by November the 15th.